Hey, Ange.
Hi.
We're podcasting.
Yes, we are.
How was your day?
My day was all right. The weather was
wasn't
warmer.
lovely?
No, I mean, it was all right. The weather was warmer. It's nicer outside. That made me happy. Tuesday, so it wasn't bad. I just don't feel like I'm getting stuff accomplished that I want to get accomplished. But I'm just in a really weird funk right now.
A weird funk.
I feel like I am. Yeah.
Huh. How do you get out of the funk?
I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be in it.
It's true.
I mean, if you know how to get out of your
Probably
funk, then
true.
you're not going to be in a funk because aren't you going to want to try to get out?
Yes. Can't you do like a potion or something? Do you know any witch friends?
I don't
you could
know
contact?
witchcraft, Jeff.
Well, do you know anybody?
You don't even
that knows
believe in that
witchcraft?
stuff.
I do if it helps you get out of your
You
funk.
do not. We've talked about this before. You don't believe in anything like that.
Witchcraft.
You don't believe in witchcraft. You don't believe in
I do believe in
paranormal
it.
activity. You don't.
I
believe
think
in
it's
stuff
real
like
as long as somebody believes in it. So if you believe in it, then it's real to you.
that. No, it's you're being so you said that in a way that was like what's the word I'm looking for?
I was being genuine.
You were
I
not
was
being genuine. You're being
heartfelt,
sarcastic. You're being sarcastic.
and I was being.
Sarcastic.
I don't have that trait.
Oh my gosh. You don't have the sarcastic trait? Can you say that with a straight face? Look at me again and say, I do not have the sarcastic trait.
Really, the real question is that we should move on to is, do we have any? We should have some people who had some crazy paranormal experiences on the podcast.
Well, I know.
To talk about it. Who has? We just need to get on our Instagram and leave and say like, maybe that's the message. Maybe
I want to.
We say, hey y'all, anybody want to call in? We can Zoom. You know what? If you've got Microsoft Office, if that's what you prefer to use, if you like, what's another one?
I don't know.
Facial time.
Facial time.
Whatever.
It's so weird that you say that. Skype?
Skype it in.
Listen.
That's what I always say. Let's Skype it in.
You Skype it in.
Skype it in, people.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
Skype it in.
Catch up. If we do a paranormal podcast,
Yes, paranormal.
could we do it on location
In the dark.
somewhere? No, not here. I don't want to bring any of that in here. Can we do it somewhere?
The cemetery.
No, like somewhere that's not in our home.
What's that asylum?
Oh my gosh.
Trans-Allegheny Asylum?
No, I
Asylum?
mean, like, I don't want to do it here in the house. If we have a guest come on, if we're not just chit-chatting about it, but if we have a guest come on and they start talking about stuff, I want to do it somewhere else.
So what if we just maybe parked down at this cul-de-sac and did it in the car?
I mean, like, not even in this neighborhood. Like, go somewhere and do like, I don't know where. But
Somewhere creepy?
Nowhere near. No, you're not getting what I'm saying. Nowhere creepy. It's going to be creepy enough talking about it. I just don't want it in my house.
We'll do it at the people's house that think they've seen something before or something's crazy's happened to them.
Where?
Wherever they live.
Oh.
We'll say, hey, we're coming to you. We're going to bring our equipment.
I don't know that I like that
We're going to set up in
idea
your
either.
basement, and we're going to talk to the ghosts. We could play Ouija on the
you're
Ouija
being
board.
sarcastic. That's why I'm not doing this with you, because you're gonna make the people mad, and
I would really be open-minded.
You're not open-minded about the ghost hunter shows.
That's because those are freaking ridiculous.
Tell me about them.
Those ghost hunter shows are ridiculous.
Why do you say that?
It's freaking. It's known as the same as wrestling. I hate to break it to you, wrestling is not real.
What?
Yeah, wrestling is not real. Neither are the ghost hunter shows.
What?
They never catch or
can't
find
go on with life.
anything.
What?
They never catch anything.
How
They never
do you
find
know?
it.
Who
where
says?
You know what I want to know? Where do you get your contraptions? Where do you get your little ghost meters? Do they sell those on Amazon? Do you go down to the freaking pawn shop and pick you up a ghost meter that
I wouldn't
says,
buy a
"Oh, it's
used one."
look at the paranormal levels in this room."
I wouldn't buy a used one.
Whoa,
It's been around too many
it's
places.
crazy.
You seriously don't believe in
Parano-
those shows?
No, the shows are freaking to make money and feed
Who
off
says?
sad people.
How do you know?
I know this because it's obvious.
Oh, see,
It's
you
obvious.
know.
Just watch them, and you tell me if they ever show you anything real, except for anticipation.
Well, I mean,
No. They just love to hunt. Like some people love to hunt for Bigfoot, and they get out in the woods and they find a giant footprint and they never find Bigfoot.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because, what do you mean they never find anything?
Bigfoot existed, you would see it. Like you see deers, like you see bear. You would eventually see this.
Well, that's why we're going to have Russ on to talk about Bigfoot. But this, I'm talking about the ghost hunter shows. I don't necessarily think they're fake.
You got to be kidding.
You don't think that they go in these places and there's not spirits or hauntings?
I don't know, but I don't think they experience anything.
I do.
I think these ghost hunters, it's a production crew. They're showing up. They're disturbing.
It is a production crew. Of course they do.
Grounds of some ghosts.
Probably what makes the spirits mad.
And the spirits. Do you think the spirits even get mad?
I don't know, but I saw something on Facebook that I don't know if it was a real video or not. It has to do with this kind of stuff. There's a lady in the kitchen. Who posted that? I'd have to go back and find it. I think I know who posted it. But I don't know. It was caught on her security cameras, it says. I don't know if it's real or not.
Dude, if there are ghosts, we're going to have a ton of them. The proof is going to be there because everybody's got cameras everywhere now. There should be like floods of ghosts. You know what is funny though?
What? Tell me.
Ghosts I struggle with a little bit, especially these stupid ghost hunter shows. I'm more apt to think there might be some ghosts, but they're too smart to let you see them on some stupid show or be caught. They're too smart for us, just like extraterrestrials are too smart for us.
Oh, see, that's
totally
what bothers me.
believe in those.
See, that's what bothers me, that you believe in that, but you... Oh, here we go. But you don't believe in paranormal stuff. I don't know if this is real or not, but it's a video of this lady standing in her kitchen, and her back is to her island, and, like, lemons just fell off the kitchen counter, and then in a minute the paper towels start rolling. Well, see, the water bottle just fell over?
Oh, so somebody has...
Do you...
You know what somebody has?
What?
They have fishing string tied to it.
Do you think?
In the other room, yes, for sure.
In the other room? Where could
husband,
somebody be standing in the other room?
Just, you could pull fishing line from our kitchen all the way into where we do work.
Do you really think this is fake?
Yeah, it's fake as hell.
Wait till you see the ghost.
What ghost? And who has one of those cameras set up in their kitchen?
The security camera.
Why in your kitchen?
I don't know. I mean, people have security cameras set up everywhere. This ghost figure appears in a minute.
Ghosts can't be seen on camera. Everybody knows that.
It got cold in there.
Here we go.
The temperature changes.
Here we go.
Home security system.
Yeah.
See that
okay,
wiggling?
It's being set up.
See? What's that?
That's a freaking...
What was that?
That's not real.
Well, then how did they do that?
It's a dude walking by in a hoodie and a reflection.
How did they do that? Are you saying that they're cinematographers?
And there's no sound to this, so that he could have a freaking
Oh, I don't know that there's not sound. I might just not have it turned up. There's sound. Look, do you see that right there? What's that? What was that?
That is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen.
You don't think this is real?
No. Somebody made that crap
Look, it's
up,
moving.
Man.
Jeff doesn't believe in anything.
Dude, this stuff is not real. It's not real. What's... Her kid has his music up upstairs, and it's shaking the freaking light.
Well, now they did have to put music with this, right? Because music's not playing in the background. Maybe it's just an entertaining video. But do you think stuff like this happens?
No.
You saw that?
It's fake, man.
Jeff says it's fake.
Fake.
So tell me why you can...
That is a hoax?
Why? I think it probably is
fake. It's ridiculously fake looking.
It really is fake looking. But what I'm saying is, how come you can believe in extraterrestrials, but you won't believe in paranormal stuff? He's doing this thing with his mouth that he does when he's trying to think of something real funny to say. You guys got to know, Jeff, he does something with his mouth. I can't do it. I'll try to get it on video sometime. But he does something. He's trying to think of an answer.
I'm trying to think
of an answer.
He
does this with his mouth when he knows he has no answer, but he's going to give me a bullshit answer.
I'm not going to give you a bullshit answer. I just know there are...
Oh, I just know. That's a great answer.
F you. Screw you.
It's a great answer.
You can suck it. No.
Wish.
We have established, and when I say we, not me, but NASA, there are galaxies upon galaxies with tens of billions of more than we can count stars and planets, and there are guaranteed to be planets like ours where there's going to be life on them. Not where we can get to them or see them, but they're out there. So that would be extraterrestrial life, even if it's a freaking minnow in a freaking lake on a planet 10 gazillion miles away, light years away.
Okay, but you're saying, but you have told me before on this podcast that we won't get into it because
I've listened to a lot of good stuff on podcasts
road,
about crazy stuff.
and I'm sure that it's 100% accurate.
Listen, it is.
Is it Joe Rogan?
Sometimes.
God.
Listen,
man.
Listen, there are aircrafts that are doing crazy things.
Room.
No, we don't.
Aircraft's doing freaky. Here we go again.
Yeah, that
So you believe that, but you don't believe that there could be paranormal, that things could not fly around a room.
Give me a legitimate person like telling me that
I've told you I have had experiences.
Again, give me a legitimate. I'm kidding.
Listen. That's all right.
What'd you see again? I'm trying to remember.
That's all right. Things happened in my house back in the Miss Phoebe days.
You know the problem with you and is your dad.
No, Jeff, no.
Evil. He would probably make you crazy if you could.
No, are you serious? I think I've shared this story of Miss Phoebe on this podcast. But anyway, there we did. It was a long story. But my friends would be over and we would be in the family room and the kitchen TV would come on. Don't do your hair like that. I can't.
And it would go off.
We had under the counter cabinet, back in the early 90s when you could mount
Lazy Susan?
No, when you could mount a TV underneath your cabinet so your mom could watch it when
you guys
she's
were
cooking.
Bougie. Yeah.
We were bougie. They don't have remote controls, so it was nobody playing a joke on us.
They could have a short in their wiring.
No, because my downstairs TV did the same thing. We'd be watching it and it would go off. My friends didn't believe me because I tell them these stories, and one night it happened.
Did everybody freak out?
I had two of my friends over, and I was like, told you. We would leave the house, everything off in the house, and we would come home and lights would be on. My whole family together. We would come home and the lights would be on.
Really?
Yes. So
I remember that.
We didn't have the clapper. There wasn't remote control lighting. There wasn't hey Google or hey Siri or hey Alexa, turn on the lights.
When you pulled up, was your parents freaked out? Like, why are the lights on?
Yeah.
Somebody breaking our house?
No,
like,
they didn't say that. They're like, we turned the lights off, didn't we? And everybody's like, yeah.
I'm probably not. Y'all probably left the lights on.
Jeff, that's fine if you don't want to. Just things like that happened in this particular house.
That's because you'd be buried on a dead woman.
So long story short, in case I didn't share this story, I was in 8th grade. We lived in this house. We built this house. Like my dad had, we didn't build it, but my dad had construction, obviously company
contractors build it.
Right, and it was a neighborhood. It wasn't like it was in the middle of nowhere.
No,
so
this is a nice
neighborhood.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know how long after I would come
There's
from
a
school.
sweet ass LaRobi's right up the road now.
LaRobi's?
Is that what I said?
You said LaRobi's.
LaRose's.
I would come home from school and the phone would ring and I'd be like, hello, and they would say, is Miss Phoebe there? And Jeff's laughing because he doesn't believe the story. This legit 100%, I swear on anything happened. No, you have the wrong number. This went on for a while. Not every single day did this person call, but quite often. Nobody was ever home. It was just me. Or I might have my friends over. I had Tara will tell you. I had Tara answer the phone. Is Miss Phoebe there? And I'm like, told you.
Did she sound really hot?
No, she sounded like an old lady.
Oh, okay.
And so finally one day my dad was home for whatever reason. He was never home. And I was like, I said, hold on a second. I gave the phone to my dad. And my dad was like, you need to stop calling. There's nobody here by that name. We've already told you. And she said, yes, there is, because you built your house on her body or on her grave. And my dad was like, you're crazy. This is a neighborhood. And before this was a neighborhood, it was a little league baseball field, like a bunch of baseball fields. And she goes, go before that. And so my dad did some research because you know how he loves history. So he researched before it, found out, in fact, it was a small graveyard before the baseball field. For whatever reason, for zoning, for whatever reason, they had to move. It wasn't a big graveyard. They had to move the bodies.
Maybe they forgot Miss Phoebe.
They had to move the bodies to a different location.
Right.
And then after that, they built the baseball field. After that, they cleared that out and built the house. So apparently this lady said that our house was built on her grave. Therefore, But see, they moved her. But anyway.
But did
I-
they?
but
What if
here's
they
the thing.
spilled her and they just
Jeff, don't say spilled. That's disrespectful.
No, I'm just saying, what if like her box
They
wasn't
don't
a good
spill.
one?
You just don't spill somebody. You spill a liquid.
I'm just saying they were getting her out. They tilted it.
Whoops.
It fell apart. The box was feeble. Maybe she was a poorer person and
Listen.
didn't have an expensive box to die in. And so it spilled out
I hate you.
when they were pulling it out of the ground. And the construction workers were just like, throw some dirt on her, dude.
You're
I'm not cleaning that up.
You're laughing at a big part of my childhood.
I'm not laughing at your childhood. I'm trying to agree with you and say the one person they forgot is haunting you because she's still
But she
stuck
wasn't
there.
though. Here's the thing. So like all these things happened in that house. We would hear things up in the attic, like clump, 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 clump,
Right.
clump. Like up in, like, you know how we have an attic and we never hear anything up there? We would
That's
hear
true.
things. My dad would go up and
Now
check
we
for
will.
animals, like check for animals, like is there an animal up
gotta
there?
be a
We never could
squirrel,
find
right?
it.
That's
There,
what
it
he
could have
thought.
been, but
That's
I
what he
mean,
thought.
it
Or
wasn't the
raccoon.
thing. It wasn't like this. It was like that every once in a while. And then the TVs would come on and you would just feel eerie. Like, I can't ever say I experienced like temperature change. I can't say I've ever experienced that. But I did experience eerie feelings. So here the story goes on. So, but I never felt 100% scared.
Right.
I didn't. So I just said to myself,
What
named
about
her
coming upstairs in the dark?
we named her Miss Phoebe, and I always said she was nice because I'm thinking if there is a spirit here and you see me and you hear me talking nice about you, you're not going to be mean to me,
Very smart.
right?
Good
and
move.
then
Good move.
one of my teachers, I was telling her about this one day, and she said, "Can I tell you something?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I totally believe what you're saying, and I totally believe in this stuff." And she's like, "But I want to put you at ease. They're not going to hurt you. They can't.
Right.
They can't hurt you."
That's what I was saying earlier.
They can't hurt you. So, and I was like, okay, that made me feel better. So once I knew
What grade
that,
did she teach?
I don't know. I was in 7th or 8th grade.
And she's a expert at, or was she
Jeff, I
just
don't know.
helping a kid through
people
something?
dabble and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, but I trusted her. Her name
I
was
would
Miss
have
Bennett.
too. Miss Bennett's a wise woman.
Anyway, so goes on. Here's the other funny part of this phenomenon. I often wonder. Now, I don't know this to be true, but this whole time this is going on, this is the same time I had my nun dreams. Why I'm so afraid of nuns.
Yes. You
Okay.
wonder if she's a nun?
Yes.
I wonder if Miss Phoebe, the nun, we got to look her up.
We can trace this back. I don't know how we would do it.
We're
We
going to
probably
find her.
couldn't do
Was
it.
there a Miss Phoebe that was a nun in the Covington, Kentucky area?
And what year? It'd have to be a long time ago.
Yes.
Wonder if we could figure that out.
That would be so
I don't
cool.
even know how to spell Phoebe.
Well, we'd spell it every
Like,
way
is it a
possible.
PH?
It doesn't matter. We'll find
Like
one.
Phoebe? Wasn't there a Phoebe on Friends?
There was, I think.
No, but seriously, like I had these horrible nun dreams that a nun broke into my middle school, killed all my friends, was chasing after me, pinned me in the bathroom. I got away. I was running down my street of, this is just a very brief version of the dream. I was running down my street. I ran into the very house I'm talking about, up into my very room I slept in, and I opened my closet to get in it to hide.
She was there.
No, and there was a bunch of nun outfits hanging there.
Dude,
And
why
that's
don't
when
you-
I would wake up and I would be screaming. You can ask my mom. I would be screaming and I would be throwing things in the middle of the room when my mom would come in. It got so bad that she was like, "We're going to have to take you to like have dreams study done," because it was bad.
Yeah.
And it was the same dream every single time.
You should turn it into a movie because that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it was real scary.
Like the open the door nun outfit. That would be
I was
so
opening the door and there was
dramatic.
just none. There's black and white nun things. So, the area I lived in Covington, Kentucky, we did have some Catholic churches around the area. So it wasn't like that big of a deal to see nuns out and about every once in a while. Like you would see a nun in Kroger or something like that. But anytime I would see a nun out, I would literally lose my composure.
Right.
And my mom was like, "You've got to stop."
Pull it together.
And here's another thing that happened. Same school. The school's haunted. Same school. I went to a public middle school.
Right.
Okay, it wasn't near a Catholic. A couple of roads down there is a Catholic school. Well, one day I'm sitting in English class, and teacher's teaching, and walks a nun, whispers something to her. I'm not even lying to you.
No.
Yes, she does. I've told you this story.
I know, but still.
And I'm like, what in the world? I panic because I'm thinking there's a nun. I'm freaking out. I don't know what was going on there. Teacher, nothing. She didn't say anything. Nothing happened. We were doing our assignments. I started having an anxiety attack. I said, can I go to the restroom? She was like, sure. So I went to the bathroom, came out of the stall, washing my face, or washing my hands, and here she comes into the bathroom. I literally started having an anxiety attack. She's trying to help me. She's like, oh, honey, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, get away from me. Get away from me. I mean, I was freaking the freak out because the very school that I had this dream in.
Right.
The very school. Y'all think I'm crazy. I know you do, but I swear on anything. I can't make this stuff up.
No, it's very difficult to make this up.
So that happened. What else happened with it? Well, when we were in college, we went to a Christian college. A nun was on the campus one day. Remember that?
That was really weird. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah, that was really weird.
We were just
I
walking
don't even
through.
know of any Catholic or anything around
Well,
town.
I asked some of my professors, I'm like, was there any reason there would be a nun on campus? And they were like, no. I said, well, would there be like no meetings? They were like, not that this is a Nazarene college.
Yeah,
I
no.
guarantee you there's not nuns here. And I was like, well, I'm telling you what, I saw one walk into the library the other day. And they were like, I mean, I don't know, it's an open campus. It's like anybody could walk through. Just stuff like that always happened to me. And I didn't hallucinate any of that. I did
Maybe
not
you're
hallucinate
supposed to be
any
a
of that.
nun.
I mean, I don't think that I hallucinated any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You did a lot of PCP in
No, I
college.
didn't. See, no, I've never done a drug in my entire life. Never done a drug. Worst thing I've ever done is drink wine. And that's not even bad. I've never done a drug. I can't explain this stuff. So, so then let's go back some to high school where I knew we had to have knee surgery. I had to get knee surgery done. And so where the heck does my mom pick to have my knee surgery done?
That's right.
Where does she
St.
pick?
Mary's.
All the flippin' hospitals in Charleston. She's like, well, Angie, Dr. Santrock, he only does this particular surgery at St. Francis. And I was like, Saint? Heck no. Not going. She was like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I was like, Mom, if you let a nun come into my room, I will lose it. She's like, I won't. I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there. I'm in my gown. They're prepping me, and in comes a priest. I'm like, I guess you can be in here.
Yeah, you're a little girl, not a little boy, so you're saying.
I told you not to joke about that stuff. It's not funny.
But true.
He prayed with me, and I was like, okay, great. That's it. I appreciate the prayers. In comes this nun walking. I was like, you have to leave. He's already prayed with me. She was like, oh, I'm just I was like, I said, leave. But I kept it together.
You
I kept
did.
it together.
That's good.
My mom had gone out. She came back. I said, a nun freaking came in here.
They're sneaky. That's what I've heard about nuns. They're sneaky.
One more little story about nuns, because all my friends knew I was afraid of them because they all knew about Miss Phoebe. You can ask Virgil about Miss Phoebe. He knows.
Oh, I never text Virgil back.
Well, they all knew I was afraid of nuns. So my boyfriend at the time and Virgil thought it'd be hilarious. It's back when we could dress up Halloween to go to school. We could dress up in our costumes. Thought it would be hilarious because we had pool because we were the popular kids to have everybody that could participate dress up as a nun, and they did.
That's awesome.
No, it's not.
It's kind of cool.
No, it's not. I think I went home.
Did you?
I
Did it
can't
scare you
remember.
that bad?
Well, yeah. I mean, it freaked me out. Like, I wasn't, like, scared because I could see the people's faces that was
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like that girl last night scared of clowns, but her friends were dressed up as
Right,
clowns.
right, yeah.
If I didn't know it was you guys, I would be flipping out. And that's kind of how I was. Like, if I didn't know if that was Virgil, if that was Scott, if that was whoever, that, I would be freaked out. So that was fun, too. So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So that's my story. But I'm just saying it all went back to that same house. The nun dreams, the Miss Phoebe thing, all the weird things happening.
Miss Phoebe.
So I'm telling you, I believe in it because I've had those experiences.
Right.
I had some weird experiences at my grandma's house to my dad's mom, but I can't really explain those, but I had weird things happen.
Yeah.
But you've not experienced
Maybe it's
anything
because
like
you
that.
worship Satan.
I also had a vision of your grandpa, remember?
That's true, you did.
Yeah. And Maddie, tell me this isn't weird. So
That's right, that
Jeff's
was
grandfather knew Maddie. So Maddie is our oldest. She's 20, almost 21. And so they knew each other, and he loved Maddie.
Oh, yeah.
And she loved him.
Yeah.
But they didn't, like, Maddie wouldn't remember him because he
No.
passed away when Maddie was, like, she could talk. Well,
She
how
was
old was
2.
she? Was she 2?
Yeah.
So he had passed away, and we were sitting.
2 or 3.
We were in the car, And it was a forward-facing car seat, so she was over, so, and she could talk, so she was, Anyway, and we're driving on the road, and she's just giggling and talking, and she's just talking up a storm, not to me. I was in my own world, just talking, and I was like, Maddie, who were you talking to? She said, Pawpaw, and I was like, oh. And then, like, a time later, I remember she was downstairs, or upstairs, I was downstairs, one of the two, and she was giggling so hard, like laughing so hard. I'm like, Maddie, what's so funny? She goes, Pawpaw, he's so funny. And I was like, oh. Okay. It was your grandpa, so of course I'm not scared. I'm just like, so, I mean, really, honestly, like, how can you explain that? Like, maybe it's a kid's imagination, but do you think a 2-year-old has the cognitive ability to be able to pretend play with someone who's passed on?
I don't know, but I think he would have probably gone golfing if he came back. He really liked golf.
Oh, maybe it was after his golf game, or maybe he was just stopping by to say hi
for a
before.
minute. Yeah, maybe.
So I don't know. So those are some circumstances that you know what I mean.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. And you have those like feelings. How do you explain those feelings of, like you said, like when you're walking up the steps and you feel like somebody's behind you, so you go faster?
I hate that crap, man.
Do you ever have a feeling like you're getting in bed and somebody's going to grab your ankles?
No.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Never mind.
No,
yeah, you do actually. You do grab your ankles. You grab your own ankles.
Oh my gosh! I mean, when you're walking underneath your bed, like when you're
you know what?
underneath
I've
your
never
bed,
thought that.
You ever? I always am afraid somebody's gonna go like.
Yeah,
like that.
No, I haven't.
Because there's a movie that they pull a little girl under the bed. What is that? Polarized.
I don't know.
Pull her under
That's
the
your
bed.
problem. Is when you're a kid, your dad would watch all those freaky movies with you.
It 100% could be.
When you're a young child.
I watched some disturbing stuff. Poltergeist. I'm telling you, The Exorcist is the scariest movie on the planet. I'll fight with anybody. That's what I've heard. Although I can't really have an argument because I was so scared of like The Exorcist and Poltergeist that I haven't watched the new ones. They probably are scarier.
Maybe.
Probably, but I won't watch them.
Yeah, you won't watch that stuff.
I'll watch stuff like slasher movies, like the stupid murderer is going to come kill you, but I won't watch like. What's that one that like the paranormal, like the haunting and the like demons? I won't watch that.
That's the weird thing.
Because that's weird. That's real stuff. Yes, there are people who will come. I mean, yes, there are probably serial killers, but for some reason that doesn't scare me as much as the other.
What is it about the stairs though? Because what's weird for me is like the other night I had to go down that side room. Light was out, so I go down. I don't turn any lights on really. There's one light on down there, the dim one or whatever. I go in that room and I'm fumbling around and I'm going through stuff, and I don't think about anything, and I don't. Usually, I don't. And I have my headphones in too on top of it, so I'm listening to something, so I can't hear if anything comes in the room.
Right.
So I'm in a dark room, moving stuff around, like trying to find, and then I get what I need. I come out, I go up steps, and I get halfway up the stairs, and I feel this chill.
Yes.
Like like I feel this chill, but I tell myself, I'm like, the way I deal with stuff like that is I always go. I challenge myself not to turn around or to panic. So I go, don't be a pussy. Just stay your pace. Just don't be a pussy. Because as soon as you give into it, you got to be like, ah! Yeah. You freak out and you want to run. But why the stairs? I'm in the freaking dark going through stuff and nothing ever, no chills, nothing goes through my head. It doesn't go, well, turn on the lights.
Right.
Well, I turned on the light, but it was burnt out. And then so I'm in there. I don't even think. But then it's like you get halfway up the stairs. And it's just something about, I don't know.
But you've done it on other stairs before.
Oh, God, yeah. But it's always the stairs.
I remember my dad, so when we, growing up, not the house I just told you guys about, but the one before that, it was was it a mid-entry? Okay, so like you go in the front door, you can go up the steps or down the steps. Well, down the steps was the family room, and that's where we hung out all the time and watched TV, okay? So, but in the bedrooms and the kitchen and everything was upstairs. So, if my dad needed a drink, if he needed something, I was the gopher. Like, I was like, Ange, go up and get me a glass of water, or go up and get me this, or go up and get me that. And I would. So I'd get up and I'd be halfway up the steps. And if he, yelled my name to tell him to get something else, because, I'd be halfway to that level, he'd be like, Ange, give me. And it would scare the crap out of me. Because I had that steps feeling, and then I'd hear my dad go, Ange. And I'm like, don't do that. It's like, it's like one of those things. Have you ever been asleep and feel somebody whisper something in your ear? I was asleep one time.
Creepy.
I've heard my name. I've heard somebody go, Angie, like that.
Oh, that's just me.
Somebody's called me a slut before. I would be sleeping there, slut. I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah. I swear, I'm not even kidding you. I don't know why you would call me that, but that's not very nice. But I've a lot of times I've heard like, Angie, or have you guys ever, girls, I guess, well, guys too,
We may go for a ride down to Highland here in a little while. Have you
drying your hair and like you hear your kid say your name, like mom.
I read the other day a fact that is when you hear people say your name and there's nobody around, that's actually the sign of a very healthy brain.
Brooke and I did that. She was having a dream at the same time I
remember.
heard. Oh my gosh. I wish she were here to tell that story. She was like, okay, so she spent the night somewhere. I'm going to get this all mixed up. She spent the night somewhere, and they had stayed up late, and for me, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, okay? I was up. I was in my room, this room. And Brooke was at a friend's house, and I don't know how to tell the story. Let me just back up. I woke up. I was getting ready for going to the gym. I was in that drawer over there getting socks out, and I heard Brooke. I know my kid's voice. I heard Brooke say, "Mom," and I was like, I was getting ready to go into her room, but I was like, no, she's not even here.
Right.
She's not even here. So I was just hearing things. So that night she was home. She was like, I have got to tell you my dream that I had last night. And I was like, okay. And so she was telling me that like she was in the car with her friends, and her friend was driving, and I don't know, they got into an accident. They ended up, I don't know if it was in water or something. Oh my gosh, Brooke's FaceTiming me. Oh my gosh. Hold on. What? Okay, wait, don't tell me that story yet. Let me tell you something. You know, Jad and I are podcasting.
Yeah.
And I was literally telling the story of when you had your dream and I heard your voice. And I'm in the middle of telling that and you call me.
Ew, that's weird.
That is so weird. But I was telling them so you called at the right time. So you had a dream that you were in a car wreck with your friends.
Yeah.
And what happened? Tell the rest.
It was so long ago. Hold on, I gotta think.
Unmuffle your phone. Unmuffle your phone.
Is that better?
No, not
No.
really.
Maybe it was my phone. Is that better?
No.
Not really. So you were in.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. So you were in a car. You dreamed you were in a car accident.
I crashed into the fireplace and laid down on the couch and I was about to die, I think. And I was yelling for mom.
Yeah. So she crashed in the car, but the car came through our fireplace at home, and she was laying on the couch saying she was feeling like she was going to die, and she yelled, "Mom!" Well, and I said, "What time did you wake up?" And she was like, "It was around 6 something," and that's when I was getting my socks out of my drawer.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But is this something that I can FaceTime you back in about 3 minutes?
You'll see.
Okay, bye.
The group chat. Nate, we texted in that.
Okay, bye.
We got it. Bye.
Anyway, so that happened. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And then she just FaceTimed me. That's really weird.
That is weird.
But no, that's weird that she had that dream, and I was like, Brooke, what time did you wake up from that dream? She's like, Mom, I don't know. It was like 6 something in the morning, and that's when I was getting my socks. That's
crazy.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It is weird.
I can't make that up. I mean,
She yelled to you from her dream in another dimension.
yes. And I heard it.
And you heard it in this dimension.
How?
I don't know. Brain's weird.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So I think that some people have the abilities to hear those things. And somebody once told me that the reason that some people have never had those experiences is because your mind's not open for it. Not that I want my mind to be open for it, but I think some people have the brain that just shuts that off and it's like, there's no way that's ever possible. And there's people like me who I don't want it. I'm not asking for it, but I'm open to, like, I'm not open to entertain, but I'm like open, like I get it. Like I think things like that happen.
I'm open to it.
But
Just hasn't happened.
no, see, that's just it. You're not, because you make things.
No, there's a difference. See, that's what people say. You have to be open to it. You have to buy in.
Right.
Right? So now you buy in. No, prove it to me. If it's real, it can be proved to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, no, if it's a real thing, then it shouldn't matter. Whether I shouldn't have to buy into it for it to.
Right.
anything you start to believe in, then you look for confirmation bias. It's a natural human brain element.
So that's what you're saying I'm doing?
Not you, and I'm not saying it's not all true. I'm just saying it could happen to me. I'm open to it. It just hasn't, that I'm aware of.
But you're saying because I'm open to it, it happens to me.
No, I'm saying when people say that, a lot of times they're just trying to convince people. And I'm not even talking about just in these experiences. I'm talking about in religious experiences, in all kinds of different things. You know what I mean? It's just like people say, in religion, and I'm religious, I believe in God, I'm a Christian, I'm not your typical, like, the way I was growing up. But still, when somebody says, these things haven't happened to me, God's never spoken to me, God's never given me these miracles He's given other people, God's never made it clear to me, is that true? You know, well, and then what do Christians say? You just got to have faith.
Yeah.
So you got to buy in, and you got to believe in something that is not proven to you and hasn't ever been proven to you.
I don't think that it's no, I don't think that it is. But it's not buying in. It's called faith. And I think that if you have faith, it's not buying in.
I'm not saying it's
just having faith.
No, it's fine to have faith, but when it comes down to you got to show me scientifically, prove to me.
You don't have to show me anything scientifically.
You know, but I'm saying some people do.
Some things everything's not about science.
Right, but if somebody comes and they go, okay, let's not even talk about Christianity. Talk about any other religion. That's the funny thing is we say all these religions as Christians, we've always laughed and been like, the Mormons are crazy.
I don't ever.
These people are crazy. All of them are crazy. Christianity's nuts.
I don't say any of them are crazy. If you want to believe in Buddha and you want to do that, that's fine. I don't need you to prove anything to me.
I don't have any problem with it. I'm just saying, if you're looking for your mind to go, oh, it's an absolute, like...
I think people that need everything explained to them needs to just chill out a little bit. Like, everything's not scientific. Like, you can't explain a lot of things. Some things it's just not explainable, but you can either choose to believe them or you don't have to.
That's my point.
And sometimes you have to have faith.
It, right.
That's why if you can't, unless any of this stuff has happened to you, you can't prove it. I can't prove to you that any of that happened to me. I can just tell you, and other people can tell you what they saw.
Right.
But I mean, it's hard for people who like you to be like, I think you're tripping. Like, did y'all do shrooms or like what's happening? But no, I mean,
got some carbon monoxide going on up in there.
I'm telling you. So I don't know.
I'm just.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at
no,
the same
I believe
time,
it. I just think it's a fun thing to talk about.
I don't think that if you're a Christian and I don't think it's buying into it. I think it is having faith. There's some things you just have to have faith, and it's either going to play out for you or you're going to have wasted your time.
No,
but it didn't prove.
I'm a Christian.
Didn't serve you any bad.
I'm a Christian, but when my kids say to me, "That's crazy," Mary couldn't be a virgin.
Sure. I understand that.
You can still be a part of this and not believe that.
And that's fine. If you don't have to believe it, but it could have happened.
Sure.
I mean, you never know. I mean, you don't know.
No, you don't.
So there are things you just have to go on faith. And you know what?
You do. I just have the confidence to have discussions about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
And you do too.
No, absolutely.
We're very mature in that area where some people go, you can't be a Christian because you question that.
At the end of the day, I think everybody wants something to believe in, and everybody wants to think of a higher power, and they're going somewhere amazing. And if that's what gets you through, and that's what gets us through, and that's what gets us, that keeps us out of a lot of trouble, that's fine. And at the end of the day, if we get there and it is as glorious as everybody says, and it is heaven, and it is great. If it's not, then we'll be like, well, I mean, it didn't do us any. I mean, you know what I mean?
It's not gonna hurt.
Maybe you would have gotten in more trouble. Maybe you would have done more things, but still, it's
Maybe
not. It's not going to hurt if you want to believe in that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I think it's good for people. I think it's better for people to believe in something than not.
100%. I mean, it gets you through, like, you know, believing in God. And like you said, we're not like really, I feel like I'm a spiritual person. I could do better. I feel like I am a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't, you know, do
the
practice
rituals.
in the necessary, rituals.
The rituals, right.
But I am a spiritual person, and I believe in all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I do pray. I should pray more, but I do pray. And I should, like I said, be better.
God
but
for,
right. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Good talk.
Was a good
I
talk.
still think we do need to put it out there that if anybody else knows anything about paranormal activity or anything like that, that we should have you on the podcast somewhere else.
We need
not
an
here.
Instagram.
So, yeah.
All right. Good podcast.
There you go.
Have a good evening.